All right, welcome back to Black Lodge Trivia Night. This is Art, once again doing some more book quests in Lord of the Rings Online. Still in Moria, obviously. We're in Volume 2, Book 3. That's the book we're shooting for. This was supposed to be... I tried to alternate. This was supposed to be where I did Ultima, but that I stupidly set it up so I'm on camera for that. So I need to figure out either how to get off camera or something. Because in between holidays, this is going to be a little bit easier at the moment. Getting on camera requires a little bit more isolation, and that can make it tricky. So let's look at the quest, because I have no idea what I'm doing. After last time we got through book 2, and then I had a total emotional meltdown about an hour in, where I ranted a bit about the state of this game that I genuinely love, but I feel like there's things that needs to happen. I hope to sort of solidify its place going forward. But find Rokur, so book 3, chapter 1, an overzealous explorer. Find Rokur and lend him your aid, or find Uhtred and lend him your aid. They are exploring Zalem Melek. They departed for the southern passage, exiting the 21st Hall, but no one knows where they went. Okay, so lend assistance. And Rogur is confident that the time is nigh to retake Moria, which I would argue they've already mostly retaken Moria. I mean, sure, they haven't turned it into condos and timeshares, but we're just all over the place with this one. So let's see where we're trying to go. So I don't know if we take the path and then cut up. Let's see if we can find our way out of here, taking the southern path through the 21st Hall, and we'll get going. See what happens. Yeah, so at the time of this recording, it's still in the middle of the holidays. Usually I take time off between Christmas and New Year's. I did not do that this time, which has also made my schedule a little crazier. So again, like I said, this is I had hoped to play some more Ultima 5, which will come at some point soon. It just has not happened yet. This game might be the easiest one to record content for, of the things that I do on my own. The soul stuff, anytime I'm not on camera and I can just pick up and go, it's way easier. But I am looking forward to more Ultima, especially since the back half of that first session was a technical nightmare. I don't know if I went into it in the last Lord of the Rings here. I know I was going a lot into technical issues with my system, which I think have mostly gone away. Mostly I just figured out a way to barely have any USB things plugged in. I think I have my Stream Deck, that's 1, my audio interface, that's 2, and then my Xbox controller is 3. Everything else is unplugged. I've managed to get rid of everything else. I switched, I had an old Logitech MX wireless keyboard and mouse in the basement.
The shadow of Mordor will not long fill the halls of Khazad-dûm.
Switch back to that. That can easily switch between 3 systems, which is exactly what I needed to do. That gets rid of the need for any USB things for the keyboard, which I was having keyboard cut out. So I'm curious to see if I get any of the drifting I was getting last time I played, or if using the Bluetooth stuff solves it. So let's see. Hello there, man. Lord Brogur sent you to help me. I appreciate the offer, but I have no need of your assistance. In the halls of my fathers, I need rely on none but the strength of my own arm. Uhtred cocks his head and glares into the shadows. I may have been too quick to speak, helpful man. There is someone there in the shadows. Prepare for battle. All right. Now I forgot the... I gotta remember the good opening. I didn't have it quite down in muscle memory. I think it's shield. Nope, I still haven't fired off. Okay, I'm not gonna get it this time. He bore the mark of the white hand. Tell Lord Brogur of this at once. Yeah, anyway, so we'll see if... so yeah, basically, like I said, I used to... My audio interface has 2 USBs. I used to have both going into my PC to get extra channels. Rode recently updated the firmware to add virtual channels, so that is no longer necessary. So I was able to then move the secondary USB port over to my Mac Mini, so now that actually is integrated a lot more cleanly. Yeah, it's all simplified, which is always good. The only disappointment, and if you've listened to me chew your ear off endlessly during these streams, you know that I probably have what people on the interwebs call the GAS, the gear acquisition syndrome. I need to vastly cut back on that, but that was starting to kick in. Here, I live in New Jersey. We have a micro center. My son's home from college, and he wanted to go up there because they were having a sale on 3D printers. I'm like, yeah, let's go check it out. I saw in the display case a whole stack of AMD Ryzen 7 9800X 3Ds. I think that's the chip. It's the latest and greatest from AMD that everybody swoons over.
White hand, you say?
They're always out of stock, and when you see them on Amazon, they're like marked up to $800. They had them there, just like 20 of them sitting in a shelf. At the regular, list price. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I was sitting there, I'm like, is my computer busted enough to just buy this right now and grab a motherboard to go with it? And I was standing there, I'm looking at my son, who's a, very, very good with money, way smarter than his old man is. And I'm looking at like the bills that we have to pay for his college. And I'm like, no, my system is not busted enough to justify buying this right now. So I walked away. I don't need a Ryzen 9800X 3D to play Lord of the Rings Online in Ultima 5. So, yeah, didn't do it is what I should say. I was about to say, like, couldn't do it, like, I don't know, but I was able to resist my juvenile crap. So, anyway. So I'm, still playing this on a system that can more than handle it, where there's nothing wrong. As disappointing as that is. Okay, Book 3, Chapter 1. He owes you his life, Black Lodge. He's always been headstrong and impertinent, but I cannot blame him here. Desire to claim the riches of Khazad-dûm has blinded many dwarves to the minding of their own safety. Did I pump this up? Still, he is fortunate that you came along when you did. The Uruks are fierce and are not to be underestimated. Tell me more of this Uruk scout. Okay.
We must do something about the White Hand within Moria.
Are you certain the Uruk you fought bore the mark of the White Hand? Very unusual. What compelled these creatures to enter Moria? They certainly did not come the way we did. That means they must have gone around to the mountains and come in from the east, but for what purpose? Some suspicious plot is afoot. Okay. So let's see what we need to do next. We're going to need to start cleaning out these orcs in Zelem Melek. I need to sell crap. I don't think it's in here. Definitely in the 21st hall it's possible. But, I was watching a couple of interesting videos. I always watch a bunch of YouTube while I'm sitting here eating at my desk, so to speak, for work, take a break. And I don't know what, like, LTT, like the Linus Tech Talk, whatever that, I know there was some, I don't know. I was watching a video that they did where they're like,
It is hoped that Barline's company discovered Mithril.
let's do a $1,000 build. And let's do the $1,000 build where you have to, I'm going to lock that up. You have to buy like current gen stuff. I'm like, okay. I feel like I should. And then you can do a $1,000 build where, let me see if I can find like daily quest stuff. Because I'm holding on to items that I might be able to get some. Oh, right. I had a ton of this stuff that I could hand in, and I didn't do it. I was going to do it off camera because it was tedious. But basically, I'm looking for the job board. But you can see it's such a mess that I don't know. Should also be going to the Vault Keepers, the northeast. Anyway, so what I ended up doing is for like gaming, you know, for like 1440p kind of gaming. Auction hall. Crafting hall. Does the auction hall have your vaults? Because what I want to do is I want to unload some stuff. Is that the vault? Vault, there we go. Okay. You know, and what he did was like, look, you know, 1440p gaming. You know, if you go with like current gen, that means like 4,000 series cards or whatever, 99,000 series video cards, stuff like that. They got way better performance going to like 3080. Or you could get like cheaper 3090. I think they went with a 3080.
Welcome to Khazad-dûm.
Then like the current, or no, maybe they went with the Radeon 7900. Anyway, the point is that they were able to, you know, by doing stuff like that, they were able to. I'm carrying furniture around. That's what I want to do. Is I want to get rid of furniture. I don't need a sophisticated birder's outfit. I don't need this at all. And it was just interesting to watch them put together a system, you know, with like, say, a Ryzen 5700 X3D or something. It used to be the previous king of CPUs before the 9800 jumped out. And it was fine. It ran better than the, you know, because if you're getting into the current stuff, it's overpriced. The motherboards are too expensive. So what ends up happening is, you know, you have to buy like a motherboard that's $200 instead of a $100 motherboard for the, you know, 5700. And in the end, a lot of it because of the graphics card, the performance. That's more furniture. The performance of the new one just kicked the crap out of the performance of the older pieces kicked the crap out of the newer one. So what I'm trying to find is, I think a brown background is indicative of stuff for your house. I thought I had like a painting. So I'm sort of trying to do that while I don't need a sophisticated birders pack. Anyway, but it helped put into perspective, like, what are we doing? You know, even, you know, I was watching, oh man, I feel bad. It's the tech guy who went after Linus, saying like they make a lot of sloppy mistakes in their testing. And I can't remember his name. He did a whole, like a CPU breakdown for 2024. And one of the categories was like, you know, the best old CPU. And the best old CPU is the one I actually have. He's like, look, it's dirt cheap. The performance isn't that much far behind most of the stuff, and it'll handle anything you can throw at it gaming-wise, because more of it depends on your GPU. So basically, like, the universe was trying to tell me, like, what are you doing? And I was trying to say, yeah, but... And the universe was like, no, but seriously, what are we doing? And then, of course, my wife and children are literally telling me, like, what are you doing? So I don't know if I have more. I feel like I should just be getting rid of all this stuff. I don't know what any of this is. I don't need it. It's the type of thing where I'm like, oh, maybe I could use it, but then I never think to. So like, who cares? Just get rid of all of it. Solvent pack. Like, I wish there was a way to. I don't know if other MMOs have this, but I've been playing a bit of Wasteland 3 in co-op with my brother, and they have a thing where like stuff is junk. And I thought other games let you mark stuff as junk, and if you mark stuff as junk, I guess that's sort of like the sell all, right? Unless you've like protected it, you locked it in place. Cracked tablets, that might be useful. 150 level up package. Contains everything you need to be instantly become 150. That totally defeats the purpose on this. Sorry, I'm like getting like some allergy, like helping take care of my daughter's guinea pigs. I'm allergic to hay. They eat hay, so I have a little bit of a nose thing going on. Anyway, wonder, like, I would never do that now, obviously, but I wonder if people just like, you know what, I'm going to make an alt. It's going to be something for purely for crafting. Let's just go. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like I'm getting rid of a decent chunk of stuff here. What's this? Cloak. Don't care. Probably was going to like check it out at one point to see if it was any good. Just don't care. So I've got a bunch of these. I don't know if I just need one to trigger the quest, but it's red. It won't let me fire it off. I'm not sure why. Well, I'm not going to, you know what? I'm not going to do it. So why do I keep it in my inventory? More chests. And a lot of these, you know, they just come from the, you know, when you log in, you get the silver and gold chest for free. You know, so I don't need any of this. I'm trying to figure out, I thought I had some more furniture, like a painting that I just can't put my eye on at the moment. Oh yeah, portrait of Narmaleth. I don't need that. We don't need this. Okay, at least that's a start, right? Okay, let's get out of here. Let's go sell. Oh, no, I need to find the job board. You know, when I was whining like a giant baby last time in my rant, you know, I was talking about how they need to get their installer down. Like, you need to be able to, it seems like the basic things for being a functioning program need to happen. I hope there's a way to, not that any of this is going to happen. I hope someday there's a way to also update the map, because like this doesn't really tell me much. You know, I can sort of highlight, but like, I imagine the, you know, not that I know anything. I imagine the maps are just 2D objects, and that's why they can't do anything. I'm just gonna grab these. I don't know if I... Nasty filth. I thought I had some nasty filth, but maybe not. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, so there's the two I've finished. Let me just grab the rest. But yeah, I hope there's a way to, because even in a lot of, I think they make like quote unquote 2D objects are actually made out of 3D, so you can do like zoom ins, stuff like that, without having it to be like a Adobe Illustrator file with like infinite vector, whatever. Okay, so let's now clear tasks because we don't want to have to actually look at those. It's one of those things, if I get them, I get them. Let's get that going. Okay, now we're finally set up to go. Where are we going? Zalem Malek. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but that's where we're headed. At the Red Horn Loads. Okay, so we're headed here. Now again, Red Horn Loads is a thing that I've often struggled with. Let's see if we can get to the Orc Watch. Even if I have to sort of pay a mithril coin, I won't fast travel. I'll take the scenic route just to have the self-driving car equivalent of I didn't shortcut the journey. See if they even give it to me. The 21st Hall is obviously like a major hub, so I'm hoping.
The time has come to drive forth the orcs from our kingdom.
Let's see. It's called. Was it called the Orc Watch? Let me just double check. That is what they're calling it. So let me see if I can find it on the list. The Orc Watch. Let's go. Okay. Anyway, yeah, and part of going back to that tech stuff, this is all in light of the fact that, and this is just a rumor, so it could literally be anything. But some outlets are reporting the next like GeForce 5090 could cost as much as like $2,400. And at some point, I think we've entered the realm into just goddamn ridiculous. So, who knows? Like the costs it's just all becoming meaningless. And then there's actually, I don't know if it was the New York Times or it was actually like a legit paper. Assuming you're not, I have some strong fuck the New York Times feelings sometimes, but it was an article like that where it was talking about how video games cannot afford to look this good, which I know is, I'm playing a 17-year-old game at the moment, so. But the idea was that like, the video games industry might have had a good year in a lot of ways in totality for sales, but a lot of individual games underperformed or tanked or whatever you want to call it. And if you know anything about video games, there were just massive numbers of layoffs and no relief in sight of when some of those jobs will come back, and at least from my understanding. And yeah. And so, but part of the idea is like, look, you can't spend like $300 million making a video game because it's the same, we're experiencing the same thing with movies. You can't spend $300 million on a movie like, Indiana Jones and the whatever of Destiny, which I genuinely had fun watching, but you can't spend $300 million making that because there's just no way. Like, what's the point of making a profit of like say you make $100 million, like it seems like a really expensive way to make $100 million. And this was in, conjunction with like, hearing rumors what the next Switch will be like, the Switch 2, and what its technical specifications are and how they use art design. I think it was on the Jeff Gersman show. He was talking about how like, like if you look at like Mario Kart, it still looks really good because the design, the art direction of it is done in a way that is meant to, it's meant to showcase the Switch hardware, which is not powerful. So, where are we? Put in here. So you can see we're probably snaking around Now here is going to be a little tricky. I don't know if we have to go down and around. Is that the idea? But you're already sort of getting the idea of just like, well, I've already probably demonstrated a little bit how like I find it frustrating to get around Moria. Anyway. And what Jeff Gerstmann was talking about was in regards to an article saying, you know, in the next generation of consoles, there's going to be the Nintendo Switch, and the market would then probably support one other major manufacturer. The idea of a new hardware manufacturer, like if Sega wanted to get back in the game for some reason, like that's not going to happen. And this analyst was even skeptical it could support the current setup of PlayStation, Xbox, Switch. And adding sort of PC into there. So I thought it was an interesting discussion, interesting article. But anyway, it makes the point that like, I think there's diminishing returns, and the costs of achieving those diminishing returns are way out of proportion to those returns. I mean, by their nature, they're diminishing, right? But when you have to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to get that little bit more, it's kind of crazy. Okay, so we've got this guy unlocked. Let's see where we're going to go. All right, so we've got... We're here at the Red Horn Loads. Let me double check the quest. Defeat orcs. Okay. I wonder why it's not... I wonder why it's not showing me like, hey, this is where we need to go to... Oh well. Let's just get started. And you know, and I'm saying this as we close out 2024, enter into 2025, which will see the release of Grand Theft Auto 6, which, you know, the trailer looks both amazing and they still can't nail faces entirely. So... But that's the thing, right? So what you're doing is twofold. Like, if you're making these games, it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how good this looks, and then you make it so that the only people that can experience it are the haves as opposed to the have-nots. Like, what's the point? This one? There we go. I don't know if that makes any sense, but... That is not the right combo. Let me try... Okay, that's not the right combo either. I have it written down. I think it's fist, shield, spear. So let's see, it's fist, shield, spear, fist, shield. Nope, that's deflection. Fist, shield, spear, shield. Nope. Okay. I have it written, like I said, I have it written down. I just gotta find the... Oops, I gotta actually pay attention. Get some healing going. Okay, it's fist, spear, shield, fist, shield. Okay. But yeah, you know, it kind of like... And so that drives the price of making a game into the stratosphere, so only select few can make that kind of AAA title. You know, I was watching. This will make sense in a second. I was watching the 4th season of Only Murders in the Building. If you know, because I've talked about before on the channel a lot. Like, I went to graduate school for filmmaking. I went to film school. I focused on directing and writing, that even though I edit as my profession at the moment, for as long as I'm able to be fortunate enough to hang on to that. Who knows? We'll see in 2025 what happens. It could be a trash fire of a year. 2024 was not good. On about 5 different levels. I'm nervous that 2025 is just going to be worse. Anyway, that's neither here nor there at the moment. But I was watching season 4 of Only Murders in the Building, and I'm getting about halfway through, and there's a scene. If you don't know the story, the basic plot involves they want to make a movie out of the main character's podcast. So, they go to Hollywood and they blah, blah, blah. And, you get some, they're spoofing like the stereotypes of like the artsy bullshit directors, the stars playing the characters that are going to be, up their own ass a little bit, even though in real life, I'm sure they're perfectly nice people. The game plays them up, the show plays them up to be the stereotypes. Zach Galifianakis, Eva Longoria, they're the ones who lean more into the stereotypes. Eugene Levy sort of plays it sort of as like a nice guy. So, but it reminded me like why I'm glad I never had the opportunity, because I would have done it if I had the opportunity, but I'm glad sort of fate intervened and kept me from having the opportunity to really pursue filmmaking, the directing, writing part of it. Like, there is an alternate timeline where I go to LA and give it a shot, and I end up, probably living out of my car. But that didn't happen. So, and it made me realize, like, especially like what movies feel like now with like, with a lot of the superhero movies on the Marvel side, they want to get young directors I feel like they can push around and sort of bend to whatever they want to do, which, because the budgets are so high and they don't treat their special effects teams well, from like reports I've read. So, you're just like, but at the end of the day, here's the thing. And this is what made me really go, oh shit. Like, you need somebody's permission to make the art you want to make. Now, I'm not saying like you need permission to go make a movie. You can go, if you can get $5,000 together, you can get a camera going and some editing software. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that if you want to make like quote unquote real movies, they cost too much money, and so you're gonna need at some point somebody else's permission to do it, unless you're independently wealthy, which I am not by any stretch of imagination. So, and then the more I think, and it's something I've thought about before. It's not like I just decided I thought this last week. But if you get into this, which is partly why I got into it, because you want to tell stories, and I wanted to tell stories. The idea of telling stories visually really appealed to me. But what I realized that wanting to tell stories was more important than telling the visual. If I had to tell it in writing, through role-playing games, whatever it is, that was more important. Oh, I see. And there are mediums out there where you don't have to ask anybody's permission to do it. Even like, you know, if you were to take $5,000 and go make a movie, you still need actors. You still need, you know, people to help you on set. You know, and it's not that like, you know, I'm sure there's plenty of people that would say, yeah, no, I'd love to help. But you still need somebody's permission. You still need, and that's part of the beauty because it's collaborative. So that's part of what I liked about it. Because, you know, you hope by collaborating you come up with something better. But I can tell you that the one medium that doesn't require anybody's permission, even to get the stuff out there, is writing. And I love writing. I don't do nearly enough of the things that I genuinely love. That's just how, you know, the classic life takes over. But that's one of the things I'm hoping to, I don't know if it'll happen, but that's part of the sort of, if I were calling it a New Year's resolution, I'm not really that type of guy. But like focusing on the things that I don't need somebody's permission to do. Like specifically writing. Like nobody's going to stop me from writing a book. Nobody would stop me from self-publishing the book. Like, you know, if I'm not looking to make $1 billion off of it, like nobody's going to stop me. Let's see. Talk to Brogur. So we're looking to get back to the 21st hall. I don't know if that makes sense, but it finally made me realize, like, I'm glad I went to film school. It's let me have my career for the last 20 years, and I hope for a little while longer. And it does affect how I approach writing, like in my mind, in a good way. You know, it gave me a chance to think about story, but it didn't in a way that, you know, helped make sense to me. So like, I feel like I can apply stuff I've learned about writing and storytelling and filmmaking to just writing prose. It doesn't help my prose get better, but I feel like it can help me structure, pacing, things like that are a little bit ubiquitous across mediums. So I'm very grateful to have the job that I have. And like I keep saying, I want to do it for as long as I can. But it made me realize that I'm going to take the shield just because it's a bump in vitality and a bump in armor. It's got just better across the board. And it keeps that.
You should help my dwarves unearth the buried chamber.
It keeps that style of the warden where it's got the spear slot over the corner, which I, just for, you know, vibes, I like. The White Hand will have to wait because War has sent me word that he wants your help. You remember War, don't you? He supervised the opening of the Holland Gate and has a very high opinion of you, as do we all. His team of workers have been excavating the chamber of Mazar Bul, the Chamber of Records, located just north of the 21st Hall and on the right. Walk there and speak with War about the task he has for you. Okay. So, anyway. You know, so just to stop rambling so much, you know, I want to focus on the things. And I just, you know, if you're somebody who's a storyteller, you know, there are ways to, you know, if you have to make movies, you have to make movies, right? And what I started to realize was that I don't have to make movies. There's something inside me that has to tell stories. And that was an important thing. It's not something I came up with last week. That's something like over time I've realized. Had I not gone to film school, you know, I would have regretted it for the rest of my life, like what could have been. But so I'm glad I did it. It gave me, again, helped me think about stories in a way that makes sense to how my brain works. Given me my career. I don't know if it's given me a strong possibility for a second act if this career starts to fizzle, but... So this looks... I was trying to figure out if this was like the room where, like, in the movies, the troll fight. It doesn't look like it. I don't think this is the tomb.
Something collapsed the roof of this chamber. I know not what.
I have some work for you if you don't mind getting your hands dirty. So we're going to search the debris. The place was called the Chamber of Mazar Bul because it once stored important records of its day. At some point during the long years that Moria stood empty, the ceiling seems to have collapsed. The whole room's filled with rubble. We're trying to search through the debris for anything of interest. Okay. Again, I like the idea of this kind of quest, even though you're going to just see it's like click 4 piles or whatever. But the reason why I was searching through, collected the Book of Mazar Bul, I just figured it'd be the last one I searched. The reason why I like it, though, is because, again, like, the history, nature itself, those are the things that have the power in this setting. So it would be worth it to dig through a pile of garbage and find, you know, there would be things that were lost to time that were worth finding. So now we're going back to Brogor. Okay. Anyway, so again, I apologize. Another long-winded rant, but yeah. Am I going the right way? Yeah, I think so. No, I'm not. I was north of the... Right. Sorry. The earlier quest, I was going south. This time I went north, so I need to go back south. But then, you know, and to coincide with all that ranting, the other part of it that jumps out is like in theory, on some level, you need somebody's permission to make like movies, television shows, whatever. You know, or they just reported cost $600 and something million for 2 seasons. And part of the article that I was reading at the time, and I'm never going to remember any of these articles, how to get to them, was about how like people are spending too much on Star Wars. Disney's spending too much on Star Wars, and Andor would not have gotten a second season had it not been agreed upon contractually when they made the first one that like you need to guarantee 2. They got it in writing, so.
I cannot bear to read this book.
He takes the book from you, flips gingerly through some of the brittle pages. His breath catches as comprehension appears to dawn on him. This is the Book of Mazar Bul, and it seems to contain a record of Balin's settlement. It is a grim reading, Black Lodge. If you would be so good to bring it to my cousin Bosi, he will want to see it. He has always had more of a stomach than I for records such as this. I do not want to read of their horrific end. It is enough for me to know that they are dead. Bosi is still in the Chamber of the Crossroads in Durance Way, north of the Great Delving. All right, so we're going to be going to Chamber of the Crossroads. So yeah, part of the, you know, like when you think about it in terms of like, okay, so I need people's permission to do the thing that I love because it's just impossibly expensive and it's not getting any cheaper. But then look at, you know, the gatekeepers, so to speak, like what they value, what, you know, how they're approaching it. You know, the gatekeepers are becoming more and more like, I feel like tech bros and like corporate CEOs. And
These halls will be great once more.
man, a long time ago I read this book by William Goldman, who was one of the best. He's mostly known for writing Princess Bride. He wrote the novel. Then he probably adapted into a screenplay because he started off as a screenwriter. But he wrote The Princess Bride. He's, you know, so cult classic. But he wrote a book called Adventures in the Screen Trade, which is sort of like a sneak peek behind the scenes, et cetera, et cetera. And in it, he basically says when it comes to movie making, like, nobody knows anything. We're going to Chamber of the Crossroads. And if nobody knows anything, and these are the people that, like, do movies, like, what do you think the chances are of, CEOs and tech bros being the ones who do know it, right? If, like, nobody knows. Directors, writers, so definitely not the CEOs, like, nobody knows. And I don't mean that in, like, in a disparaging way. It's just, gotta be honest. So why would you want to do something that requires people who don't know the most out of everybody who doesn't know, potentially?
This looks to be grim reading, but I will do so from the beginning.
Bosi leafs through the book, and a look of deep sadness settles upon his features as he comes to understand what the brittle pages are saying. This is a record of Balin's expedition and tells of their unhappy end. At least now we know what befell our kin in Moria. Black Pit deed. Or so it seems in my grief. I will read it from the beginning, but in the meantime I would have your help with another matter, so that I can devote my attention to this.
The dwarves of my expedition are getting restless.
All right. And so in that case, like, since nobody knows that, like, why not just do something where you don't have to ask for permission? You want to write about XYZs, like robot dog ninjas, like, nobody's going to stop you if you write a book. Nobody has to read it, but nobody's going to stop you. And I feel thinking about things like that very liberating. Like, there is no gatekeeping if you want to write. Just do it. Let's see. One of my dwarves, a miner by the name of Svina, has taken it upon himself to attack the goblins of the Silvertine Lodes. He has the strength of limb to match the headstrong nature, but there are too many goblins in that place for even him to conquer alone. Wait, do not leave for Gamil Filik just yet, for that is not where my dwarf has gone. Svina believes the goblins have a home in the waterworks, and I heard him vow to follow the mining tracks that run through the Silvertine Lodes. I'm going to say Silvertine. I think I said Silvertine the first, but Silvertine. Down to the flooded deeps themselves. Look for the southernmost tracks on your map. You will find Svina searching there for the goblins. I will continue to read the book, but you must journey to the southernmost blah blah blah. Okay, great. So you can see, like, book quests like usual, they're sort of sending you around the horn, so to speak. We're trying to get to the waterworks. Well, we're going to get there in a minute. Let's go to Dolven View. I don't know if I've earned Deep Descent yet, so let's go to Dolven View. If I can get there.
Dwarves must fight for dwarves.
Anyway, I know I'm just constantly ranting here. And I don't mean to, like, turn this into a giant, like, rant about late stage capitalism, blah, 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 but it just feels like television and movies, the industry somehow broke itself. Gaming seems to somehow have broken itself. The hardware side has sort of broken itself. Just everything feels like it's just broken itself. And, I blame the stock market, but and then, and then just with the headlines, as we enter in 2025, like, mostly it's been focused on Elon Musk having the ear of incoming President Trump, and it's just like, oh my God, like, it's not that politics are now going to be broken. They've been broken for a while, but it's just like, it just feels all so flagrant. Like, nobody even pretends anymore across all these things that are broken. And if nobody's pretending anymore, then I don't feel like, and this is where I like, if nobody's pretending anymore, then I feel like nobody's going to feel compelled that it's necessary to fix it. It's just if it's just we've accepted that's the new normal and just everything's fucked. And that's how it is. And you're just like, it's part of why I think 25 is going to be worse. And also, and because, like I have that feeling, like working in a media profession, you know what? I don't want to. I feel like I'm about to have everything turned upside down. So part of it is obviously speaking out of fear, but it doesn't change the fact that I felt these things for a while. Maybe I had. Nope. I've been here before. Yeah, that's okay. So let me see where I want to go. The rotting cellar. Vile maw. I'm just kind of curious. The rotting cellar. How far was that? That's the entrance to it, but I'm trying to figure out what this Silvertine worksite is. So again, I'll take the scenic route. I'll sort of quote unquote earn it, even though I'm not really. While we're doing this, let's get out of tasks. Let's get rid of these. I wonder if they pop up because that means no, it just means I've made progress. That's why they popped up. Okay. Anywho's, I'll shut up about that. That's just a whole bunch of boring bullshit. Stream of consciousness, etc., etc. You know what? How do I cancel this? Dismount. I'm wondering if this stable master was added to the game.
The lords of Moria have returned.
To ease getting around. Like this will put you closer to some of the questing. I'm trying to see what this is called though, because I don't see it on the map here. Okay, again, we're going to go to the rotting cell. I'm going to pay for it twice, but that's fine. So maybe that's the Silvertine one, but it's just not added to the map for some reason. Again, visually really cool. Again, anything that involves a lot of three-dimensional stuff, I really struggle with in maybe all games, but in this game in particular. Dragon's Dogma 2, I sometimes have issue. I played a little bit more of that. I want to get back to... Oh, that's where I'm trying to go. I want to get back to that, but I don't know if I want to, stream every moment of it, like a series like I've done with the others. It hasn't been that interesting. I played a little bit because I was trying to figure out how to get to another section of the world, and I thought I was being gate-kept from it by doing a quest that required like a $300,000 investment in costumes, which then I learned you can find chests and get around that. And then I was like, you know what? The nature of this game feels like I should be able to explore my way into the new area. And lo and behold, I scoured the map and finally figured out what happens if I go through here? And it worked. So I started to explore the other area because I was running out of quests. I was running out of things to do. So I made some progress, but
here, though we have not seen it.
But maybe I'll check in with that one every once in a while with a stream or something. Bozy wants me to return to the Chamber of the Crossroads. I cannot do that now. There are goblin next to Hugh. Come, by my side. So I can do, fist. Again, it's a chain. There we go. Nope, not yet. Okay. Okay. Let's see if I can make my way back, because I do need to learn a little bit of this. I'm hoping it's as simple as just following the tracks up to wherever up here by this fire will get me to the unmarked stable master. So there must be some... Maybe it would be like a some kind of fellowship quest or some kind of raid. I assume that's why they would put a campsite here. Oh wait, no. I thought the campsites were used to summon. It's saying, well, anyway. And the whole point was I thought you could summon so that you could do some kind of group.
One day burn upon the crucibles of our fathers.
I can sell the scrolls. I don't want to sell... The crafting material I'm cool selling. This kind of stuff, though, I got to be careful of what I get rid of, because some of it's going to add up for the tasks. So I might not have as much to sell as I think I do. I don't know if I equipped that new shield. I did not. Let's see if we can find that shield. I think it's right here. Let's watch those numbers go up, baby. The vitality did not go up that much. I thought it would, or if at all, I thought it would give me a little bit more.
One day sell goblin heads as trophies.
So one thing I just saw, you know, I was talking about how like I was having issues with like, I mean, you saw it on the streams, like the camera just drift around like crazy. Let me just see something. You see it's going around. That means it's automatically targeting. It's automatically focusing on my target. Let me see. I thought there was a way to turn that off. But I don't think that was necessarily the drift I was experiencing, but there's a way to turn that off, and I don't know. Nope. And I thought I did. That's what keeps throwing me, because I feel like I keep turning that off and it keeps coming back. Now I'm under the UI settings. I don't know if that's actually correct. Always loot all. I should probably choose that. So that's the thing. I don't know. Is it just key mapping because it's just a keyboard setting and I need to turn that off, or is it a setting that I can permanently disable? So I thought the V key did it, but it's and something's been very irritating. Panels. Chat, miscellaneous. It's interesting push to talk for a voice. It's interesting games still have like their own voice in game still. I mean, I know this game vastly predates Discord, but target lock-on mode is not V, it's X. Okay. Let me try this again. There we go. Hopefully that settles in this case. Okay, so we're trying to get up to the stable master. And we're going back to the not to the 21st hall. We want to go to Chamber of the Crossroads.
The lords of Moria have returned.
Anyway, yeah, so this will be the final recording of 2024. This should go up. I'm hoping to get it up on New Year's Eve. Not that anybody's going to watch it on New Year's Eve or whatever, but so now we need to go where? Chamber of the Crossroads. Okay, can I get to that place from here? Perfect. So hopefully, hopefully year 2024 has been good. There's been a lot of good things about 2024. I shouldn't talk about it like it was an unmitigated disaster, but, a lot of stress, watching my son apply to college, that was a lot. Death of a parent, a lot of, tough things happened, but a lot of good things happened as well. Like my son got into college and, my family's all healthy so far.
Thank you for saving Swaina.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Goblins and from himself.
Okay. Hopefully he doesn't get in trouble. I've read more of the book.
I am worried that the account in the book of Masagul might happen again.
Balin's final lot was grim. I have not yet read all, but there is much here that we should take as a warning. They were greatly outnumbered, but seemed not to know this until it was too late. Return to the Chamber of Leadership off of the 21st Hall, and tell my cousin Brogor to be more cautious. Perhaps I'm overreacting. Indeed, I hope that's the case. But regardless, bring my warning anyway. I'm not going to read every single word all the time, because my voice goes too quickly as it is. And hopefully there's a lot of good things coming in 2025. Whoa, level 150. 300,000 Guardian, okay. Just makes you wonder, what am I doing? Like, what happens in 100 levels that you go from less than 2,000 hit points to 300,000 morale? I'm sorry.
Bossy is worried for nothing.
Is that just like
This time
a,
will
like
be different.
crafting? Is that like, if you really delve into the systems and you grind deeds, is that what's necessary? Because, I don't want to skip leg day. I'd like to achieve some potential with my character, even though I know I'm sort of flapping about. My cousin always worried too much. Balin came to a bad end, yes, but this time it will be different. Look at all the victories we have already had, and in so short of a time. We'll be fine, Black Lodge. Do not heed Bosie's groundless worrying. He always does this. Moria has cost us so much already. Surely the worst is behind us. Dun dun
My nephew
dun.
has come up with a daring plan. You should ask him about it.
Okay, so here's where I'm starting to get a little worried. Now you're seeing that I'm going from an orange quest to a red. Again, there's been times when I've had the questing outpace my leveling because I'm not doing too much beyond the book, so hopefully we don't run into that for a little bit. My nephew Bori's come up with a daring plan. He conceived of a diversionary strike against a certain hall in the deeps to draw the orcs of the White Hand from their camp. This way, a second group could enter the camp and defeat its leader. It will be dangerous for both groups, but it's a good plan. Imagine it. One axe blow, we will cut off the head of the White Hand, the presence here in Moria. Bosie's fear will be assuaged in the face of such a victory. Will you help my nephew with the preparations for this strike? He grieves still for Broin, and I feel that he must earn honor doubly for himself and for my slain son. If this strike is successful, he will have done so. All right, let's do it. Oh, he's right here. So I'm wondering if Volume 3... Is it Volume 3? What am I in? Volume 2. I'm wondering if Volume 2 is Moria. And then Volume 3 gets you out of Moria. Okay, there are many preparations to be made before my daring plan is set in motion. Let's start going down the list.
Can be repaired or melted down.
Even if my plan goes smoothly, both groups of dwarves will be in danger. Orcs of the White Hand are deadly and they're sure to be fighting. We're low on equipment, certainly lack the armor and weapons my two teams require. So let's go find dented armor, broken blades, cracked shields throughout Zelem Melek. Okay, so it's going to send us all over the place, searching for these things. That's fine. Let's grab the other two.
My plan requires as many courageous dwarves as will volunteer.
Okay, round up the usual suspects. I'll need help. One group will make a feint against the guarded junction on the eastern road, and I will lead the other against Staznach. I'm sure I butchered that. Ganacht. The encampment of the White Hand. Speak with the dwarves in 21st Hall. Let's get some volunteers.
I need to know the lay of Staznach if my plan is to succeed.
One team of dwarves will lead a diversionary strike. The other group will stealthily enter Stazganach and defeat the White Hand leader. I need information about these locations. Examine the strength of the force along the eastern road and become familiar with the layout of Stazganacht. I want you to collect barrels of black powder from within Stazganacht and return them to me. We must deprive them of the dangerous weapon wherever we can. Investigate these locations and return to me with any information you discover. My father's always telling me information is among the dwarf's mightiest weapons. I agree. G.I. Joe, the more you know. Or knowing is half the battle. The more you know is the rainbow star. But that potentially getting out leveled is why I wanted to start doing these task things. Okay. We'll start by doing the recruiting. What was I doing?
If we drive the orcs from Khazad-dûm, will it be enough?
That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to... Oh, there we go. I was going to say, I need to see the right...
The shadow of Mordor will not
I have a great deal of respect for Bori, of course, but I have enough work to do without casting stones. Oh, they're saying no. Let's see. I know... So, okay, so they're all sort of in the general area, but I guess I was surprised that the one said no. I don't know why that surprised me. I just assumed it'd be like, sure, yeah, we're all in.
The shadow of Mordor will not long fill the halls of Khazad-dûm.
Oh, this one's... yeah, do not question my valor, Warden, but I will not follow young Bori to my death. Okay, so these folks are not into... they're not into this plan. I need to, again, clear. Oh no, these are all, sorry. These are all, I forgot it's a 4-part. So I'm going to turn names off just for a sec so I get a better view of the rings. I don't think all of the guys are in the main area here. I think some of them poke out around the...
The time has come to drive forth the orcs from our kingdom.
Was this plan of Bori's a diversionary strike? I'm old-fashioned and I do not appreciate such tactics. Enemies should be challenged head-on. Even if this were more to my liking, I have too many tasks on my plate and not enough time. Okay. So far, 0 for 3.
Durin's folk will defy Durin's bane.
I already have tasks to do. I'm sorry, I can't help. Okay, 0 for 4. Okay, I guess we're going... I feel like this is getting a little... Oh no, I was about to say far afield, but I guess not.
I will help Moria with this errand.
Okay.
Honor will be ours.
1 is in. Okay, there's 1 left. Can't remember, did we... I'm sure we did this when we first entered, but I'm just going to pop up here for a sec. Turn off the HUD. I mean... That's, I don't know. I mean, again, old game, but I find that really impressive. Just as a capturing what I imagine the spectacle of entering into the 21st Hall would be. I feel like this game nails it.
The orcs of Moria have much to account for.
Okay, so we got 2 out of 6. It's not great. You know what, I might turn off, what's that one called? Honor Enough? Let's turn that one off. Let's turn that one off. Because I think this one, the first one I turned off, I think is just the general quest. So let's follow. This way it'll have us, you know, the compass will guide us to the next area, which is... All right. Gonna be taking the, I guess the East Arch is a total dead end, so let's figure that out. We'll probably have to go north and over. This feels like a road. I don't know if it's a road or a wall. Might be a wall. Again, a lot of stable masters that I don't recall. I feel like this is not going to get me there.
The shadow of Mordor will not long fill the halls of Khazad-dûm.
So somehow, Durn's Way. Where's Durn's Way? So, like, I feel like there's a way to get there, but there's a way, obviously, to go this way, and I don't know how to approach that. The short of it is, though, I feel like I'm on the wrong track. Like, I'm sure I can hook, I don't know, down and around, but that seems crazy. But maybe it's not, again, because I don't claim to understand the maps. Again, truly impressive. I will say, though, letting the music play for a minute. The music feels a little more synthy, a little less. I don't even know if the original music was truly orchestral, but the music here doesn't quite hit as hard for me. Whoa. Okay, 58. I can handle the 58. I don't know if I can handle 3 of them, but... This sort of Souls game, I could quit out and jump back in, but
The time has come to drive the doors from our kingdom.
although I am down with these like chanting pieces. Okay, so we're skirting the first hall to our right, which is of course where Gandalf faced the Balrog. So my fear is that there is no way to get through to the north. Here's just my bias. Like the vocal parts of this music go a long way for me. Like when it's not doing something with the vocals here in Moria, at least, I feel like the music takes a bit of a hit. This is the second hall. But we're not getting any closer to where I want to go. Okay. I don't know where we actually are going. Oh, a dead end. Okay, so can I get off my horse? If I guess I'm going back to the 21st hall, sort of embarrassed because I got lost. So, okay. Nope. Could have swore this was a road. So let me go up to... See if I could zoom in. There's that line there trying to tell me that it's blocked. Trying to tell me, like, is that part of the way, but the word is obscuring what's there. Like, although I thought the east gate I checked and it was blocked. Whoops. Right, I wasn't crazy, right? This was, yeah. The last time I went this way, so this was a road, which makes me think this should be a road, and I just missed it. But it's a little... Must be frustrating for you. It's definitely frustrating for me to be like, I don't know what I did. Yep, we did that already. So it seems like that's... So in my mind, yeah, so that's blocked. I went up and around. What happens if I go down? Not sure if this is actually a viable throughway, but let's give it a shot. Okay, well, here's something. Yeah, I don't know why I'm not getting, It's turned into a mess. Okay. So yeah, so usually the map would show like a... I guess here it's showing some orange. Don't need that.
Dwarves must fight for dwarves.
So I can't tell, like, just killing these things... Okay, I was about to say, does killing these things give us the equipment? It seems to. All right, so we're most of the way there. What do we got here? Is this another blade? All right. I wonder if it matters, like if you pick a target that has a shield, like does that help? Starting to get some lag, so that's why I've been saying like, oh, this has been a bit of a mess with some of the the combos because I'm missing timings. Now I didn't know if it would matter because I thought it maybe stacked them or lined them up. I may be misremembering.
Those are all the dwarves who volunteered? No matter, it's fine. Very little of these weapons and armor are salvageable, but they will have to do.
It's starting to sound more and more like a terrible plan. Okay, so now we got to figure out how to get to the Eastern Road. Don't. So this is sort of throwing me a little bit. Why is this red, but then I'm getting... Collect barrels of... okay, so let's see. All right, screw it. Let's go to the Red Horn loads. What do we need? The Orc Watch? Is that a thing I can get to?
has come to drive forth the Orcs from our kingdom.
These halls will be great once more.
Maybe there's just something weird with the map and I didn't need to get to those rings on it. It's more the red blob that's important. I mean, again, I keep repeating myself. Spectacular in my mind. All right, I don't know why I'm trying to. I feel like whatever this fierce resolve and all these ones, damage over time feels stronger than the bleeds I was putting on. I don't know if it's true, but it feels true again, which is the only metric that matters anymore. Especially because it does it to everybody, which the bleeds don't do that. They just target one. Something right up. Telling me there's something basically right in front of me, and I don't. Is that for some reason marking a specific barrel instead of a general blob? I don't know why it would do that, but why is it not interrupting him? I feel like I'm missing an opportunity to get on these tracks and clear run through this area. I'm not sure if that's true, though. But maybe, it seems like all the barrels are on the ground level, so maybe that's a dumb... I don't actually have this quest. I'm not sure why it's, oh well. Okay. So I've done that, but I haven't found... Okay, I didn't get very far there. All right. Can I not get up there? All right, let's see what happens. Why am I not? This guy seems like a named boss here, and I need to pay more attention. Didn't. Okay. Not sure who I'm attacking here. You know, a lot of nonsense happening here. I'm not sure. So now, why is it? Okay, that time the interrupt worked. Okay. So I've never had this much trouble, like, draining all my power before. Woof. Okay. I feel like somehow I need to get on top of the tracks. So I can get up and out of here, which seems... Again, just another extra point of friction, which is like I just want to get to the northeast and can't do it. So let me see if I can, is there anything to this map? Doesn't seem like it. Jesus, it's just somebody else shooting me? No. Okay. Just trying to see if there's something on this map that tells you where you can get on board the track. And is it as simple as like you have to find where the track is broken on the map? Doesn't seem like it. Okay. God, just leave me alone. I don't find this that interesting. I'm just going in circles at this point. Let me make my way back. Okay, now, was there something here on the map? It's hard to... See if I can link... I was watching some videos about, like, the 4K versions of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I was just thinking to myself, yeah, sometimes this makes me want to rewatch the movies. Apparently, if I can remember, I doubt I will, but if you can hunt down on YouTube, like sort of a video behind the scenes of the Blu-ray and 4K Lord of the Rings discs, it is a shit show. Like, it didn't strike me, you know, again, for somebody who, like, was so into, 48 frames per second, 3D tech, like, all this bullshit about, like, tech. It sounds like the transfers for maybe the Blu-ray's correct and then the 4K's not, and I don't know what it is, but, like, and like, the Fellowship of the Ring is busted, but the other two aren't, or vice versa. Like, it is a mess. And apparently, like, the idea was that parts of it, at least, were overseen by Peter Jackson, but I don't know how that happens. And anyway, it's worth looking up because it just sounded like a total mess. Like they made everything a lot more green, and then they tried to match the image more of the Hobbit trilogy instead of the other way around. And it's just, again, you know what I was saying earlier, nobody knows anything. So if you think the people that's supposed to know, they don't. You know, you got George Lucas sticking a no in for, you know, it's just like, what are we doing? Nobody knows anything. You know, I heard like the 4K copies that they've just done of like True Lies and maybe Terminator or Terminator 2, I don't know which one, James Cameron stuff. Maybe I thought I read somewhere that they might have used some like AI to help with it, upscaling, I don't know what, but things got a little crazy. I don't know. It's all a mess. Okay. Where am I? I know I just spoke in sort of the broadest, vaguest terms, but if that kind of stuff interests you, I was watching a YouTube video where they sort of put shots side by side, and you're like, this looks, yeah, like, I mean, maybe you wouldn't notice. Can I get up there? Like in watching it, maybe it's not such a big deal, but like when you put it next to each other, you're like, yeah, actually, why did they do this? I don't think I'm doing this right, but well, I know I'm not doing it right, but let's see. I don't know. '61 Captain. You know, this raises an interesting question that I think I feel bad. I think it was NSF in the Discord. We were having a chat about this, and you know, he was talking about. I think it was NSF, so I apologize. I can't remember it, but the conversation involved like enjoying games for their difficulty and how MMOs are often not difficult. And so here it is where the game is presenting a little bit of friction. And I'm annoyed by it because I just want to sort of casual gamer my way through the story and see what it's like. But that might not be entirely fair to view the game that way, but that is a way that I hold a lot of the light, Moria in a lot of that light. Hopefully you know what I'm trying to say. That came out like a trash fire of a sentence. I was trying to think, could I scoot that way, but that's not going to do anything. Basically, I want to know, like, Is there a passage there? It didn't seem like it. I felt like I ran through the second hall and just hit a wall, and I don't know how to get around that. Nope, nope, not that one. These are the White Hand, though. So I can't tell if these are like the opposite side of the steep stairs I was taking when I just noped back to the 21st hall a little while ago from the second hall. Well, since I'm here, I can't remember. I remember like when I did the third session of this, I was just like, at first I was just, let's just, dabble in it. Let me just show you the magic of this game and give you a hint of what it's like. And then at the end of the third session, I was like, let me just do a quick, tourism kind of run through some big spots. And I can't recall if I showed this area. First hall, the bridge, Khazad-dûm West Arch. So I think this is the bridge you shall not pass. There's a way around it. I just don't remember. Yeah, it's way up to the north. So since there's this, whatever this like mustering horn is or whatever, that's I think how you get a group together to do a raid or a fellowship thing. I wonder if that means you can fight the Balrog or some kind of high-level thing like that. The Crack's Edge, Hugh, Juvenile, Giggle. Okay, so you're seeing here, like, it looks like the road continues to the east. Is there a passage here? Does this cut through? Maybe this is what I was looking for and I missed it. Got no beef with any of you. Nope. It didn't work. We're looking at level 58, so this isn't insignificant. And I will say, talking a lot about television and movies and everything, I have restarted, not from the beginning, but I've sort of picked back up watching The Expanse. Now it's on Amazon Prime. It started on Sci-Fi. And I don't know if it did 3 seasons or 4 and then got canceled. And then I don't know if Bezos was such a fan that he picked it up. Somehow it got transferred to Amazon Prime and allowed to sort of wrap up its run a little more thoroughly in 6 seasons, I think. So I'm most of the way through the 3rd season. And, you know, I was talking about writing and stuff like that earlier. Like, part of me, like, one of the dreams is I would love to write, like, a sci-fi space opera-ish. I started writing one, and I paused for no good reason whatsoever, but The Expanse is so good, and, you know, I say, like, you know, I'm running a GURPS Transhuman Space using Savage Worlds, but, like, a lot of the vibe comes from The Expanse, and I feel like that vibe just exists because The Expanse is, like, quasi-hard sci-fi, so... and it takes place in our solar system. I feel like, I've said this before probably, I don't feel like you need to have to jump over 37 systems to make sci-fi feel massive, like the setting feel huge. You can do it if it's done properly. You can do it just in our solar system. And again, I don't know if I've mentioned a game, Starlancer. An old Chris Roberts joint before he turned into whatever he's turned into with the game that's racked in like $600 million and it feels like a slight scam at this point. Starlancer took place in our solar system. It was like this really sort of well done like mission based like X-Wing kind of game that had co-op. Did I do what I needed to do? Did I do this? 2 out of 3. So what am I... Okay, so what's the East Road thing? Bring black barrels. Anyway, so yeah, Starlancer, really good. Why am I not interrupting? Really good game. The co-op, I did it in co-op with my brother and our close friends. I remember it being awesome when it worked, but it was a little buggy. Like sometimes it would crash between missions and cutscenes. I forget what it was exactly, but we had some issues in co-op. But when it worked, it was really awesome. It was really well done. And then there's a sequel to that, Freelancer, which I don't know what got it sort of in my craw, but one of the few PC games I used to still have the CD for. I don't know. My fear is that got lost in the flood of whenever that flood was. I didn't realize, like, you know, you get a CD wet, it doesn't seem like it would do anything. But I guess when you submerge a CD in, like, sludge water for a couple of days, like, they had all these, like, weird bubbles and stuff on the data side, so I just assumed they were trashed. So I was sort of looking for that disc, and I was like, I couldn't find it. And, just jumped onto eBay to get a copy. Although I know it's abandonware. I don't know what to think about abandonware overall. I know if I buy a copy off of eBay, it's not like anybody's getting that money that made the game. But I don't know. But I know it's very easily available on abandonware sites. Okay, so somehow I found this passage. Yeah, the timing got off there. I don't know what happened. Didn't register that fist is part of it. After I take this guy out, let me make sure the quests are showing up the way I want them to. I'm a little nervous that I just ran right by what I'm supposed to be looking for. Now that I've actually finally found this passage. Okay, so let's bring the black powder back, okay. So maybe when we bring the black powder back, that'll check off 2 out of 3 and then we're done. I'm gonna follow this though, just because I want to see if I can lock down how to get to it from the other side, if possible. Nope, nothing happened. Okay. Said it fired off the interrupt. It didn't seem to actually count the interrupt, and then it didn't fire off the gambit when I hit that key. Collected nasty filth. There's a folder on my hard drive called Nasty Filth that my brother is ordered to delete upon my sudden death. No reason. Probably need to come up with a better code word. Nope, okay. That was so nasty. Nasty filth. Oh. Let me see if I can just collect those last 2 filthy, nasty, filthy nilths. Nasty filth. If I knew what Pornhub was, I'd make a joke that nasty filth is one of the subsections on there. Okay, so the totem is why I lost power in that one fight. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, if you're into science fiction shows and you're looking for something to binge, my brother and I have talked about this. Like, we're both huge Firefly fans. And, you know, Jane on that show is, you know, Pain is scary. You know, it's a good character. But one of my, you know, favorite sci-fi characters in TV. But I gotta say, the character, I gotta look him up. In The Expanse, tops him for me. It's the let me see. One of the main characters, Amos, played by Wes Chatham, played brilliantly by Wes Chatham. It's just like, he's so good. He's so cold, but in a way that ends up being funny sometimes. And just like weird turns. Like one time, maybe season 2, I don't know which season, like a main character gets into a fight in a bar, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Amos just shows up. And the guy's like, "What do you have? Like a room here?" And he's like, "You don't need to know." Just like, or like something involves like a high heel or something, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I understand." And they're like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, "Yeah, you know, many facets." But like one of the great lines is like he's telling somebody, "Hey, you're not that guy," and talks him out of doing something horrible. That guy leaves and he turns around, "But I am," and then he does the horrible thing. Like, such a good character. Really enjoy Mr. Chatham's performance and that character. And like, even like, you know, another character's going through some stuff, and he's like, "Look, you want to talk? I'm not sure I'm going to be much help, but I don't judge." And you're like, "Yeah, no, he wouldn't judge." It's just really good writing, a really good character. And he's so singular in his drive, motivation. I don't know what it is exactly, but it interestingly makes it more fascinating rather than, it's not, okay, than making it feel one note. His sort of one noteness makes him a lot more complex than you might expect on paper. I have not read the book, so I can't say how they compare, if the books are better, but the show I think is really well done. How interesting. I can't. You know what? Let's get in on this guy's business. Hoping the Boar's Rush knocks that totem out pretty easily. Oops. Okay, so I can't cross this border. So where am I? Okay, so that's okay. So you can't make your way through. That's good to know. Let's get this going.
Thank you, friend. I understand the lay of Stasnak slightly better now. I need your help, my friend.
Okay. Thank you for helping me with the preparations. I'm almost ready, but nay, it's nothing. I am ready. That bit of doubt, I bet, is going to come back to haunt us. Let's see what we got going on here. We got a necklace. That's definitely something we get. Although I feel like we've got something that's already better. Maybe not. It's hard to tell. Like, let's see what we got here, though. Light armor. We got some medium armor on the pants. Higher armor number, lower vitality, though. But it's got a bunch of other stats that are good. Can't do that. This is a club that it's not going to match our elite. Now, what's the difference between this and the other one? Bori's leggings or Con Lagar? Both have the same armor. 22 agility, 8 vitality. 22 agility, 8 vitality, 102 critical rating. 102 critical rating, 55 physical mastery. I don't know what the difference is. Double reinforced armor. Oh well, I'll take the pants.
It is time now to set my plan into motion.
See if we can find him in this mess. So again, our health overall is now down a bit because our vitality stat dropped.
It is time now to set my plan into motion.
When I give the word, Stilling and Willie will set out for the guarded junction on the Eastern Road. 2 hours after that, they will attack the outpost and attempt to convince the defenders that their force is of a much larger size. Meanwhile, you and I will creep towards Stazgnath. If I am correct, the main force of the White Hand Orcs will leave the camp to defend the guarded junction. We'll enter the camp and find the leader of the White Hand Orcs in Moria. Once he's dead, they will be leaderless. I think that's a little too big. And disorganized and be of little threat to us. Okay, let's give it a shot. Solo quest. Do it. Chapter 7.
Saruman's attempts to bring the orcs of Moria under his sway will only be ended when his minions perish. The valor of the dwarves must be relied upon in these dark times. At Stazgnath, the White Hand must be cut off.
Okay. Okay, so we're down in the red horn loads. Okay. Here we are. If we're able to defeat the leader of these White Hand Orcs, we should be able to drive them from Moria with little difficulty. But we must be cautious. I do not want to attract any attention until we are near the leader. We should not travel in a... we should not travel in a group, or we would then be too easy for the sentries to spot. No, we must travel single file. You'll go first, and then when the coast is clear, you'll give the signal so I can follow. Our signal will be a wave, just wave. Okay. Can't stress it enough. Wave is the go word. Here we go. Show me the signal. So, okay. So I need to... Okay. Okay, hold up, my friend. Careful, do you see the patrolling orcs? We cannot let them see us or our mission will be a failure. We're making for the building built into the side of the rock wall. They are straight ahead. It seems that the orcs are paying it no mind and we will be out of their view if we can make it there. Run there without getting too close to any orcs. Once you have made it there, wait for me. Okay. It's a cool idea, right? Like trying to do like a little bit of a stealth mission. I don't know if this is the right spot. Okay, top notch, good. See that where the tracks pass over the gap in that rocks? Okay. Get beneath the tracks there without being seen, then wave me over. Okay. Can I? You worry too much. Ashpar's got this all under control. Okay, so we're waiting for these orcs to leave. Look sharp. The Greybeards are attacking the guarded junction. Save some slaughter for me. They're off. Okay, now coast is clear. Talk to Bori. They did it. Willie and Stilling have drawn the attention of the main body of the White Hand orcs. Do you see the wooden platform straight ahead? Make a run for it, and once you're underneath it, wave for me to join you. That is, if the coast is clear. You must still proceed with caution. There are fewer orcs now in Stagnacht than thanks to our heroic friends, but there are still watchful sentries. So we're looking for wooden platform straight ahead. Get underneath it. Okay, see the gaps between the rocks. Platform over the gap. Get beneath the platform. Okay, so I'm going... Looks like the coast is clear. Almost there. Do you see the scaffolding to the north? Get to its shadow and wave me over. I don't know if this counts. We've done it. From here we have but a short run to face the leader of the White Hand orcs. The time for stealth is over. He cannot hide from us now. Let's put an end to him, my friend. Fear no sentries. Time for stealth is over. Now we will slay the orc leader. Lead the way, Bori. Let's kick some ass. He's got 2,900 morale. There we go. We're looking for Ashpar. Are you the leader of this pitiful band of orcs? Who wants to know? Street Beef. Dialogue 101. I am Bori, son of Bozi, son of Bifor the Renowned. And this is Black Lodge, warden of the highest quality. We have come to cast your orcs from Moria forever, that the dwarves may live here once again. You are a fool, Bori, son of Bozi, son of Bifor. Know that I am Ashpar the Merciless, servant of the White Hand. I am mighty indeed, but mine is not the sole power inside Moria. And yet, even without my warriors, I will slay you both with ease. I am a warden of middling quality. Taste steel. Ashpar has been defeated. Let us return to the Chamber of Leadership, singing the song of our victory as we go. Moria will be ours again, in no small part to our brave deeds today. All right, talk to Bori. Still in Chapter 7, The White Hand.
Do you think Ashbar spoke the truth?
We are victorious and my heart is brimming with pride. We have left the White Hand leaders lists in disarray, just as I had hoped. Furthermore, Stelling and Willie returned unharmed from their dangerous mission. Very nice. These orcs have underestimated the ingenuity of dwarves. Still, I wonder what Ashpar meant when he spoke of the true power in Moria. All right, let's see what Brogur has to say.
You need not worry. Asfar sought only to frighten us with those words.
Ashpar was obviously making empty threats in an attempt to save his own life. I'm proud of Bori for not giving in the orcs' coercion. Okay, so we got a choice of gloves. We'll skip the light armor. This is a big upgrade. Let's see, what's this? I'll take these. Higher vitality.
My nephew worries as much as his father.
Okay, do not worry about Ashpar's dying words. The orc was trying to save himself. Wish that my own son had lived to accompany Bori on this adventure. There was enough honor for all, and it would have done Broyne some good to be part of such a victory. You should bring my cousin Bozy news of his son's valiant success over the White Hand. Perhaps it will cheer him from his gloom. All right, this is going to be Chapter 8. Bozy is in the Chamber of the Crossroads. But boom. I think they have a task board in the Chamber of the Crossroads, so maybe if I just get over there, I can hand everything in. Oh, nope, it's right here. Let me just do this real quick. I think there's a setting to have it not automatically add quests. Maybe I should figure that out and turn it on so that when I make progress on these, it doesn't automatically fill them up. I'll have to figure that out if it's worth it or not. But okay, so let's see if we can get to Crossroads from Stable Masters. Chamber of the Crossroads, okay. Nope.
The shadow of Mordor will not long fill the halls of Khazad-dûm.
I don't feel like it was hard to find this guy. Why am I? Yeah, he's right there. Okay.
My reading has confirmed my suspicions, friend. We are in great danger.
Okay, Bozy listens keenly as you tell the story of his son's victory over Ashpar and the White Hand, but his eyes fill with tears when he hears of the orc's last words. He masters himself before speaking, and his face is stern once again. You thought to bring me joy with this news of my son, Black Lodge, and I am sorry that it does not. I know this Mazgog of whom you speak, for it is a name that I have heard and recently. The White Hand is not the greatest threat to the dwarves inside Moria, my friend. Ashpar was telling my son the truth. We are in grave danger. Wah
I
wah.
will tell you what I have learned from the book of Marsabul, but it is grim indeed.
The dwarves of Balin's expedition came to a terrible end indeed. I will tell you the story of their final days. It will cause me pain to speak of it, but I hope that revealing the truth about Balin's company will prevent this dire fate from befalling us as well. Speak to me when you're ready to hear the tale of that company. Yeah, I think we're ready. This is chapter 9, okay. Okay, so this is going to be one of those sessions of history.
Alas, that Balin, son of Fundin, believed he could reclaim Moria but with a small force. As the Company of the Ring learned, the number of the orcs and the might of Durin's Bane could not easily be turned aside.
Okay. Again, there was, oh man, I thought you know what, you're going to lose, let me see if I can do the thing to bring back my UI real quick. You're going to lose audio because I'm going to go to my browser. Let's see, Lotro, save UI layout. UI save and load. Okay, is it just... How do I load it, though? Okay, let me see if I did it at one point, but that was before I reinstalled Windows, and I can't recall, but I thought I transferred the savings. Let me see. /UI load. Did I name it? I don't know if I did it right. So it's saying... Okay, so usage. /UI. Do I need the brackets? Layout. Load. Oh, it did it. Nice. Look at that. All right. Look at that. All right. All right. Captain Orr, you've arrived at last. I feared we would be overwhelmed before you arrived, but with your strength, we may yet push back the orcs. Oh, that Balin were still alive. We have the need of his leadership against this horde of orcs. We must move with one mind, or we will not survive the fall of evening. I was cut off from Loni and Nali during the last attack. We must join them on the far side of the bridge, but many of the orcs have crawled up from the pit and stand between here and there. We must defeat them before yet more arrive. Again, part of the thing I don't love is that the powers I have are meaningless. So I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And I feel like it also doesn't matter. Headbutt, that's always good. Assume is that like an interrupt? Maybe not. So this is before the bridge is broken. We're in the first hall. So obviously Gandalf has not come yet to... Oh, nice. Okay. What's this? Like, I feel like these are in the ballpark of Guardian, but I have no idea. The Bridge of Khazad-dûm. There they are. Loni, Nali. Kick some ass. Nope, we didn't have to. All right. At last, take that. Things are not well, Captain. There is no end to the creatures. For every orc we cleave, 2 more spring from the darkness. Still, we are the dwarves of Khazad-dûm. We will not let these orcs drive us from the halls in which we have lived for years too few. We were wrong to come back to Khazad-dûm. Oh, were we wrong to come back to Khazad-dûm, Captain? With Balin slain, this endeavor seems ready to fail. The orcs are too many. No, we will stand. I will die a dwarf. Let none call Loney a coward. Okay. We are decided then. One last glorious stand against the orcs. I weep that none will sing of it, Captain Ori. But I am glad that I have such honorable and dependable dwarves by my side for its making. For Balin, for Khazad-dûm, and for the glory of the dwarves. Make your stand against the orcs worthy of song. Let's do it. We will slay many orcs before we die, my friends. On the left. Okay, so part of the thing is like some of my attacks generate pips. So I'm probably not tracking that very well. That's why sometimes I feel like I'm trying to do something and it's not happening, and that might be why. Cost 3 fervor, okay. Again, you know, I don't know these mechanics, so I don't know why they would make me have to suddenly do slightly advanced anything out of nowhere, but looks like that first one generates. We are turning the tide against them. Forward. Forward. Talk to Farrar and escape. I do not like this, Captain. Some shadow lies ahead. See how my hands tremble, and I have never quailed before any foe. A great evil waits down this passage, worse than all the evils we have seen this day. I do not think we can face this thing. We must retreat. We must fall back. We must escape across the bridge. I will slow them down. Get out of here. Oh, shit. Here we go. I will guard your retreat. Go. Hold, Captain. Something's not right here. Is it the 400-foot Balrog? Is that the problem? Quickly, bring Captain Ori back to the 21st Hall. We have to get you out of here, Captain Ori. We must retreat to the 21st Hall and hope that we can hold them off there. I was not certain you would still be alive, Captain Ori, but I rejoice to see you so. What did you hear for our last defense? We are still waiting for word from the scouts you sent west, but so far there has been nothing. And now the orcs have taken the bridge in the second hall and close in on our position from all sides. We are certain to follow Friar and Loney and Nali, my captain, even if we hold out for a little while. Hark! Who is that? Is that one of the scouts? Talk to Olgir? It is. He's returned from the west gate. My captain, I bring sad news. The pool has come all the way up to the wall at the west gate. There is no hope of escape that way. Noble Oin's mission has ended, and in failure, in surprise, he was taken by the Watcher in the water, and the weapon he bore availed him naught. The surrounding halls are filled with orcs, Captain. It was all I could do to make it back here, but it has been for nothing. What can we do? It's hopeless. There must be something we can do, right, Captain? What can we do, Captain? We have no hope of standing against them here in the hall. They will overwhelm us with their vast numbers. Billy listens to your plan, and his face hardens, his eyes stern and bright. You're right, Captain. We will retreat to the chamber of Mazarbul and make what stand we may. There we may last long enough to make them feel the sting of our axes and hearken our battle cries. To the chamber of Mazarbul, that is where we will make our stand. If you remember again the chamber, that's where like the roof is collapsed in. Captain Ori, I would have a word with you while we bar the doors and prepare. Now that it's come down to it, Captain, I grieve that our return to Moria has been so brief and so full of sorrow. Was Balin wrong to lead us here and expect that whatever curse lay upon these halls had been lifted? Whatever curse, I said curse. It is too late now to ask such things, but I would not have this hopeful journey come to such an end, to be forgotten forever, to come to nothing. Captain Ori, I beg you, finish writing our account in the book where such things are recorded. There it is on the tomb we erected for Lord Balin. It was begun by others, but I would have you finish it. I do not want our fate to be forgotten. Finish the book. I would not have us forgotten. Again, you can see like it cuts through where it doesn't in our current setting. Death to the orcs. We are out of time. Survive the orc assault. You are stubborn, Maggot Beard. But I, Mazog, will send you back to your maker. Where are our guys? To me, my ally, slay this worm and you will be rewarded. Oh, here we go. Stand against Magoth to the last. Okay.
I do not know if things will be different this time. We must prepare for the storm.
There's hope to be found in the leaves of Mazarbul. I could not see it. If we are to survive where Balin's dwarves did not, we will need to prepare for the coming storm. It may not be possible, but we will at least make a stand.
The company of Balin, son of Fundi, came to a foul end in the dark halls of Moria. Durin's bane is gone, but many orcs still dwell within those halls. Can the returning dwarves maintain their hold? The orcs prepare for war, and the dwarves must do the same.
We must make the Chamber of the Crossroads ready for war.
All right. Dwarves of my company have gone to work the forges of Nar Kalab, and joyous work it is.
We must make the Chamber of the Crossroads ready for war.
I fear that we will meet the same fate as Balin's expedition if we do not prepare for battle, Black Lodge. If Ashpar is to be believed, the vengeance of Mazgog, his host, may be swift. We cannot rest until we are prepared for the worst. We must be ready to meet this onslaught, and if we are lucky, we will not be doomed as Balin was, whose road was yet unknown to him. My dwarves, Slothy, Sigden, and Balfi, here in the Chamber of the Crossroads, must be told of the situation. You should do anything they ask to help them prepare for the coming storm. The Great Delving, at least, will be ready. That is Book 4, Chapter 1, which means we've finished Book 3. We've done it. We've finished another book in the epic quest line here in Moria, Volume 2. And I gotta say, like, as much as I don't always like the idea of having to switch classes because I don't know what I'm doing for the first third or half of it, and then, you know, it in some ways it sort of reinforces my belief that maybe the mechanics of an MMO don't always matter too much. But I liked the idea of that. Partly because, like what I said at one point earlier, is that I wish I could see reclaiming Moria when it was a little less reclaimed. And I feel like that gave you a glimpse of it. The 21st Hall was just barren, had some defenders that were going to get overrun. You know, maybe in this case they're not getting overrun, we're holding our own. But you see what I'm saying? It was like before everything was so set up. So I liked that instance quite a bit. But yeah, so what we'll do is we'll pause here. This was, again, Book 3 of the second volume in the Epic Questline. We'll pick the books back up, and hopefully I can get back to some Ultima 5, because, again, doing it on camera can be tricky sometimes. So, or maybe I just gotta roll with it a little more and not sweat how choppy it might come across. But anyway, this has been Black Lodge Trivia Night. This is going to be going up on New Year's Eve of 2024. So this, in theory, is the last video of the year. We'll have more actual plays coming up soon. We had a little bit of a pause with the holidays, but we'll pick that back up and we'll get back into the swing of things hopefully soon. But I hope everybody had a good 2024. I hope 2025 treats you well. I hope we all hang in there, and I hope it's a good one. Again, we're Black Lodge Trivia Night. We're mostly a tabletop RPG actual play podcast, even though a lot of the videos that go up are other stuff. But the main point of it is the actual plays with Matt and Patrick. If you're watching this, you've already found our YouTube channel. If you want, like, subscribe, leave comments, whatever. If you checked this out, we appreciate it. Thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you prefer audio versions of the discussion podcast or the actual plays, just search for Black Lodge Trivia Night wherever you get your audio, and we should show up there. But otherwise, thanks again. Have a good one, and we'll be back with more Lord of the Rings book quests and other things. So thank you, Happy New Year's, and take care.